Greetings, YouTube shave fans, super curve honing fans, type 2 diabetes rescued by keto fans, and carnivore eating fans, the proper human diet. Bill here. Today is February the 8th. February the 8th. Saturday, I'm going to do a shave. This is in response to a challenge. I think it was the Razor's Edge, Robert, who tagged me in. It may have been a Texan Shaves. These are a couple guys that are in my list that you'll find them in there, where they tag somebody in with a challenge for a shave. And the shave was to shave with a straight razor that was made between the 50s and 70s. I think I'm somewhere in there. I'm not real sure. Okay, but I am responding to that challenge. I am using the brush for today is my Sterling High Mountain White. The soap today is Williams. I think this is, I don't know if this is actually considered vintage. This was the version before the final version before Williams closed up. And I wanted to try that. So I carved a little bit off and put it in my bowl. I saw an interesting thing with shave soap the other day, Mitchell's Wolf Fat. First time I ever saw it. Mike McClellan, Mikey Shaves. He's mostly a double-edged guy. He likes slant razors. He does use some shavettes. Funny guy. And I like to watch him. He does his guitar and singing sometimes to entertain people, and just a great gent. So he did a thing where with Mitchell's Wolf Fat, he actually took the puck from Mitchell's, because there's people that say Mitchell's a problem lathering or whatever, and he just took, and I've seen people do that with Williams. He would, just, I guess, put water on his face and just take the puck, and he smeared a bunch of soap and lathered quite well, okay? So as far as I know, there was never a Mitchell's Wolf Fat stick, and there is no Mitchell's Wolf Fat at all anymore. So I think that might be old enough to qualify for the 1950s to 1970s. The brush obviously doesn't. I don't think I have any brushes that old. The Scuttle obviously doesn't. I'm using my big Scuttle from Steve. I'll put it in the link. Guy in Great Britain. He makes this. This is Gary Shave's fault. Now I know Gary beat me up the other day for my use of hot towels rather than to put it into the Scuttle and microwave it. I have a method for my Mandison. I thought about doing that because it is a good idea to take the towel, wet it, have it kind of soaking, kind of wet, and have water in the Scuttle and then microwave it so it comes out hot. The problem for me was that I've put a pre-shave on. I've used the Rich Man's Pre-Shave Proraso, and then I wanted to mix up a lather and put the hot towel on immediately before the hot lather. And that's where some drinking thermal container comes in with, I just dumped boiling water in here, and it's been in here for a while, and it's hot enough that you have to hold this by the ends, and you'll have to do the Gary thing to, let's see if you can see the steam coming off of there. I can certainly see it. Get it over my shirt, see, but it will burn you this hot, okay? So, and just holding it is kind of difficult right now. So, but I like to have this hot towel immediately before I put the soap on. So that's the method for the Mandison. I'd actually consider doing both and doing one hot towel, because typically you'll get, if you go to barbershop shave, I think I've watched them, I've never had one other than when my wife did her barber's board exam, was the subject, and had a hot towel. But I think they'll put one hot towel on and wrap it around and then take it off and then put another hot towel on, okay? I think some of the ideas to get heat and moisture in there, because I read somewhere, I don't know where it was, years ago, that one of the key things for cutting hair is moisture. Okay, so not so much soap. Soap helps, but soap is there to carry the moisture. So that's the hot towel, and I've whipped up my lather, and it's gotten hot. And much like one of the complaints about Williams, it seems to have dissipated some. So this could be modern Williams. I don't really know. In spite of, and I made this kind of thin because I like, for straight razor shaving, thin lathers. So let's see how it goes. Okay, so for the razor of the challenge, I've got two. And one is, both of them actually came from friends that I made in the shaving hobby, in forums and that kind of stuff. And these two guys are from the same forum. One was a guy who was considering getting out of straight razors, and one gave me a list of things he was considering selling, and I wanted an MK32, a Helgestrand MK32. Helgestrand, I believe, went out of business in 1980, so this could be, so they were like early 1900s to 1980. This is in pretty good shape. It doesn't have a lot of time that it looks on there, so I don't really know exactly when it was made. Okay, but I got this, and these are not the original scales. This was rescaled by one of these guys that thinks he's the best toner in the world, but he's not. So, there's all kind of stuff around about sweetest steel and Helgestrands, and I don't think many people that have these MK32s are disappointed with them. I'll say that much. And I'm going to give an interesting challenge. My send off or my pass on of the challenge. I'm not going to do two people. It's getting kind of hard to keep up with who tags in who. So the originator tagged in two people, and then each of them tagged in two people. It probably should be one person tags one person. But it's not my challenge. Okay, so I'm just following along. But I'm going to issue the challenge to my shaving scuttle mentor, Gary Shaves. Now, I know I've not seen Gary with vintage straight razors. From what I've seen, he's starting. If you look at his channel, if you care to, and check him out. He has decided to learn to straight razor shave, move from double edge to straight razor shaving and honing, and doing it all at once on video. It proves, regardless of I don't recommend you do that, and a lot of people don't recommend. A lot of people are dogmatic about, say it's the wrong way to do it. It's like, I don't really care what you do. I know enough people who have been successful at it. There are people certainly who have encountered problems by doing that, okay? I don't think Gary is one of them. I think he's doing a pretty good job. And there's a number of other guys that are kind of new in the space, and they're doing the same thing. So they're learning to do everything all at the same time. So, and where am I going with that? Okay, the other shaver razor is going to be this little teeny tiny. Easy. Okay, so this is like a 6/8. This is, I guess like a 4/8 or whatever. And this was given to me by a guy from that original shave forum that I was involved into, by a guy who got it from his neighbors and asked me if I wanted it. So he sent it to me. It was a little rusty. It's a little cleaner now. But this says on there, Fram, who I have no idea who the marking is, but winter shaver, and it has a similar blank shape, similar to a razor marketed as recently as a couple of years ago by Booker. And so I honed it up, and it's pretty sharp. And the interesting thing with this is like a trim razor, so it's kind of short. You had to be really, really careful in changing these, so you're edge aware of where the end of the razor is. And that Williams soap does have quite a residual slickness to it. So I'm just kind of using it there. And I guess what I'm talking about, my friend Gary, what I want you to do, Gary. Normally I don't promote shave forums anymore, but I am still a member of a couple of them, okay? One being the Shaving Cadre, which is known for people that are kinder, and I've never had anybody make an attack on me over there, or pull my post down, or argue with me about how I hone my razors or whatever. But anyhow, Gary, you may not want to do this, but I don't have your address. And I'm not going to put my address or personal information here on YouTube, but you're going to have to figure out a way to get a hold of me, okay? The easiest way to get a hold of me is, since I am a member at theshavingcadre.com, you can go there, you can sign up there, it's free, you can log on there, and you can do a private message, or direct message, as they might want to call it, to me, and give me an address. I bought over the weekend, I saw, it was actually a couple of razors I saw earlier in the week, and I was watching the auction on it, and the auction was supposed to end yesterday, so I went and I looked at it, and it was a very reasonable pricing for four reasonably razors that looked to be in reasonably good shape, and included an heirloom strop, and it was nicked a little bit, but I thought, well, I'll pay this much. So I started bidding in there, and it's like, and I waited to the end, but as soon as you bid, somebody's already bid, and it's like jumping up, and it's like, so I went to the extent that I was willing to spend for four razors that I don't really need. And so I lost that one, but then I immediately started looking around, and I found a roll-up from a gal, a lady or whatever, that is not really into wet shaving, and I don't know, but she had a lot of 23 straight razors, which included a roll-up, and from the photos, it did not look like they were anything that were what I would call too bad. There might be some that have there might be some rust, there might be some pitting, might be some stuff, and I didn't get to look at them. They weren't shown with with the blades open, but they looked well enough cared for that I don't think I bought just a bunch of busted up steel. I may do a little video when I show those. Went a little deep there. I might see some blood there. It's a little harder to control that angle with a smaller razor. Everybody knows that. There, you can see it. Sloppy shaving. So anyhow, Gary, what I'm thinking is I'm going to pick through some of those. I don't need 23 new razors. If you give me an address, get on the cadre, send me a PM, get me an address. I'll hone one of those up and I'll send one of those to you. I'll find one that's in the 50s or 70s, and then you can participate in the challenge. And then if you wish to pass on that challenge on to somebody else for you, I'm only going to pick one person because I think at some point in time we're going to run out of people for others to pick, and it makes it a little bit harder. So Gary, do that. I'll hone up the razor. I'll get it stropped. I'll shave with it. I'll get it sanitized and all cleaned up, and I'll mail it to you, and it'll be ready to shave. Open it up, wipe the oil off of it, and shave with it. That would be my recommendation. So the last time I used this razor, and this is quite a sharp and thin little thing. I've had smaller razors with harder to shave this, but this has a thin grind in spite of how small it is, because sometimes it's a little harder to get the grind quite as thin on some of these little ones. And these people did pretty good. So this razor, the last time I used it, and I got to thinking about this. I was on a live stream this morning with Sean Staplefeld, and some of you guys were on there. Some of the guys who watch this channel know this. And then there's another live stream with Sean G. And some of these are kind of fun, where you have the camaraderie and you can ask questions where there's a bunch of people in there. Very similar to a you would allow discussions to go the way it used to always be, very, very open in forums. But the last time I used this was right after I got tossed off of the Bludgeon and Beatdown Shave Forum for how I honed my razors. And I used this, and I saw, okay, I'm using this little razor, this little wiener shaver in recognition of the little wiener moderatoritas at the Bludgeon and Beatdown Shave Forum, okay? Because, you know, you get on a topic they don't like, and they'll like start picking on you, okay? Like for convex tones, because you know it's their pet target to one of their pet targets to poke fun at. There's other ones. They recently shut down a thread. The same guy, machine guy, the little wiener who loves his supper, that guy right there. He shut down a thread on cauticles where people wanted to ask questions, discuss cauticles, because I think there was like one guy on there who has this magic cauticle and nobody hones better than he does because he's got this special rock, and everybody's got to use their rock exactly the way he uses his rock because he has got the primo specialty rock, and he's heard from God, and he's the cauticle guy. So and there were people that kind of rejected that attitude and started saying things, and then all of a sudden the little wiener who loves his supper had to shut it all down. And they did reopen it, which I was glad to see that they reopened it. Obviously, I can't participate anymore because the little wiener who loves his supper has the complete approval of the owner, Joe L. Badger, who's always begging for money and crying broke and putting tracking cookies all over your computer to go on, and then begging for you to become a member and pay a fee so you don't have to be obnoxiously bombarded with his commercials. So, that forms down to, it's like you go on there now and it's like you see 100 people, and it's like some of the same old crew that's there. And I think they've lost their place. But now they could regain it if Joel, if you ever got the admiral who loves his supper to fess up and listen and apologize to, this guy's probably tossed thousands of people. Because he just figures there's more fish in the sea, and it gives him the power and control, and he's got a little wiener. So Joel, toss that guy out and see if you don't have, and change things up a little bit in how you run your shit house, and see if things don't come back for you a little bit. And there's a number of people who I think are of different shaving disciplines than the straight razors, and straight razors became my thing, and I like them, and but I haven't abandoned my other stuff. This was one of the things where for a forum you're getting into it, okay? So double-edged razors. So here's some of my double-edged razors. Okay, I got this big old cup full. I probably have another cup full of them out there, and probably another couple of single-edge razors that I can fill up. So I have all these razors. I largely do not use them much anymore. But an interesting thing, I didn't have the time or did not necessarily want to invest the time in a straight razor shave one day during the week. So I pulled out, which is one of my more favorite straight razors, which is the Feather ASD2. It was like one of the earliest high-end stainless. I guess it's what they call a sintered, where it's like melted and shaped or something, and then machined. I don't know. But go look at it. It costs you a lot of money. Still does. And people, and I bought it and I enjoyed it, and it's one of the razors that's known to be easier to use, yet does a really good job of cutting, mostly because the general recommendation is that the ASD2 double-edged razor, feather ASD2, was designed for use with what is commonly accepted as the sharpest double-edged blade, the feather blade. So I was fiddling around with some stuff, and I bought, for fear of missing out, I went to the Italian barber a year or so ago, and I bought a couple of hundred Nasset blades, which are known to be sharper. And as I'm using them, I'm not liking them as much as other blades. So I thought, well, I'll kind of use them up. So I took one of those, and there are, the Nassets are reputed to be one of the sharper ones. And put one in, I really liked it. And that got me to thinking a little bit where some things that tied in and why the topic of today is what it is, and why my conversation has gone kind of the way it has. That's a pretty good shave. I'm going to do. I don't think I'm going to use, I brought my alum block in here. I don't think I'm going to use my alum block today. But, because one of the things that some of the little wiener moderators are kept around, moderatoritas are kept around at the Bludgeon and Beatdown Shave Forum is so they can be experts on this stuff, and they can tell you, well, this razor, this likes this blade, and this likes this blade, and you got to use this blade with this one, and that blade, and and they go back and forth, and they can, you need to go out, so new people come in, you need to go out, and you need to get a blade sampler, and a lot of this stuff leads to, I believe, a very slow learning process. This is my opinion, because I became of a group where I got some of this other stuff, where we focused on no, you don't run out and use a different one of these every day. Now, just because a lot of us YouTubers and that we like to use different stuff every day, this is not vintage, this is not old, it's old. I've had this a couple of years, but I guarantee you Thayer's Witches of Hazel would have been around in the 50s to the 70s. Okay, and I'm going to do the cleanup pass with the little wiener shaver with Witches of Hazel. I think I said the last time I've done it, I have not seen that done much. A lot of people do. And I've done it like what Barber Dave likes to do, where he, does one of these flat blading things to kind of do a cleanup, but that Witches of Hazel does a pretty good job with it. So most of the little wieners over at the Bludgeon Beatdown Shave Forum will tell you, Well, you get a blade sampler pack, and you'll find this razor works with this, and you get to have all these wonderful arguments about, well, this razor likes this, and this is, and I think what you need to do is whatever blade you buy, okay, ultimately, you need to learn to use that blade with any one of these. But you cannot do it by changing around. What you can do is you can learn your technique. So I haven't used this shit Corona in forever. I know a guy who shaved with one of these for 50 years. Okay, literally for 50 years. That's what he used. The same one. Okay, and then it broke, and I don't know where he went from there. But so you could use that. You could use that. But the idea is, if you want to learn shaving skills, good shaving skills, and you're having trouble, don't go jumping around with stuff. Stick with something, find something, and stay with it for a period of time, maybe a period of a month or whatever, and shave with exclusively that way, in the same soap, same brush, same finishing thing, and that way you can see what that does to your face in time. The only variable being what you did. And that's, I think, one of the top things to learn. Now, for the aftershave, I'm also going to use some vintage kind of stuff. This might be from the 70s. I guess this is a Pinard lilac vegetal. There are people that love this, okay? This is actually one of those things that is like polarizing, where you love it or you hate it, and you say you're one of the chosen or you're not chosen. I really don't particularly. There's some people that love it. I don't love it, but I don't hate it. I don't think this stuff smells. Now I had to put it in another bottle because that one, somebody gave me that and it developed a leak. So I don't. This has I can see where people say it smells like a nursing home. I can see where people say, I can't see where people say it smells like cat pee. Okay. But it is an aftershave I don't particularly super gravitate towards, but nor do I find it offensive. And it, like most of the Clubman aftershaves, has a, I don't know if it's in the list, but I think one of the alcohols in there, benzyl alcohol, is one of the things that gives the special sting that I kind of like in the Pinard products that I have. So that's Bill. That's the end of the shave. You've seen the stuff. I hope everybody has a good week. Gary, do somehow, if you know somebody that has both of our contacts, get a hold of me when those razors come in. I'll pick one out for you. I'll send it to you. It'll be yours. I don't need 23 more razors, okay? It's like I can't shave with the ones I've got, okay? But this will be kind of fun and help you to kind of participate in this fun. You get to shave with something new, something different, okay? And it may give you a little bit different perspective. You may not like my edge. You may love my edge. It may be something that you want to pursue. But this will be my gift to you for recommending this wonderful, wonderful shave Scuttle, and showing me some of the techniques of using it, which I approve of. Although I actually even thought about taking one towel and do what you said, putting one towel in the bowl and microwaving it, and then still having another towel with boiling water in this, so that I could get a hot towel, make my lather, because that's my issue with the time between the hot towel. I want the hot towel, and then I want the hot lather right away. So I would almost need 2 hot towels. So I'm going to keep this. I still think this is a great idea for, you can buy this, something like this. It is kind of thick and kind of insulated. You can buy that at Walmart for $6, $5 or $6. And, while it has a straw in there and a hole in it, I pulled the straw and the hole out. And it does, you put boiling water in there, it stays plenty hot for a good long time. So, this is Bill. I think I think there's another live stream going on tonight with another friend, Sean G. These things are kind of fun to sit in. And going through this today, I did something I have not done in over a year. It was last New Year, it was New Year's Eve a year ago was the last time I had taken a drink of anything. Okay. Simply because drinking alcohol doesn't necessarily agree with my body now that I'm on a carnivore diet and eating predominantly meats. It just does not deal with me. But I did today listen to this. A couple of the guys were having a drink, so I went and I got a scotch. I took the way I would normally do, took an ice cube and put it in a glass and put a shot worth of scotch in there, and with the one ice cube, and it was good. It was enjoyable. I doubt it's gonna bring me back to the days when I would have a couple of drinks a night or even a couple of drinks a week. But every once in a while, it was good, and I probably got enough booze to last me till I croak, just like enough shaving stuff to last me till I croak. So I'm feeling a little bit of an itchy thing, so I'm going to use, because I usually use some sort of a balm, okay? And I don't know if that's the little razor or the fact that I didn't use alum, but or whether I did the cleanup under here, because this is really pretty close. Maybe I got a little too aggressive on the clean up, and that's one of the other things I tell people. Chase comfort. Don't chase the closeness. You chase the comfort and the closeness will come. So this is Bill out. Everybody have a great week. Bye.